Okay. So here is something that should not be possible. In Egypt, there are pyramids. In Mexico, there are pyramids. In Cambodia, there are pyramids. In Sudan. In China. In Peru. In Indonesia. Across thousands of miles of ocean, across cultures that had absolutely no contact with each other, across thousands of years of separate human history. Everyone built pyramids. Why? How does that happen? How do civilizations that never spoke to each other, never traded with each other, never even knew the other existed, all independently arrive at the same shape? The answer is one of the most fascinating things about being human. And it says something profound about how our minds work. Let us start with the most obvious answer. And then go somewhere much more interesting. The obvious answer is physics. A pyramid is the most stable structure you can build with heavy materials. If you stack stones and you want them not to fall over, a pyramid shape solves almost every problem at once. The weight is distributed evenly downward. The base is wide and stable. The higher you go, the less weight is being supported. You do not need advanced engineering knowledge to discover this. You just need to stack things and notice what falls and what does not. Every civilization that tried to build something tall eventually discovered the pyramid shape because physics kept teaching them the same lesson. The triangle is not a human invention. It is a physical law. And independent cultures kept bumping into the same physical law independently. But that explains the shape. It does not explain why they wanted to build tall things in the first place. And this is where it gets really interesting. Every single pyramid ever built was connected to the sky. The Egyptian pyramids were built as tombs for pharaohs, yes. But their alignment is extraordinary. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned to true north with an accuracy of less than 1/10 of 1 degree. The shafts inside point towards specific stars. The entire structure was designed not just to house a body but to launch a soul upward into the heavens. The Mayan pyramids in Mexico were precise astronomical calendars. The Pyramid of Kukulcan at Chichen Itza was built so that on the spring and autumn equinox, the setting sun creates a shadow that moves down the side of the pyramid like a serpent descending from the sky. It happens once a year. And it was engineered deliberately, with extraordinary precision, more than 1,000 years ago. The ancient temples of Cambodia were built as representations of Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain at the center of the universe in Hindu and Buddhist cosmology. They were not just buildings. They were physical models of the sky. Every culture, every pyramid, pointing upward, connected to stars, to gods, to the heavens above. And here is the question that should hit you right now. Why was every ancient civilization so obsessed with the sky? Think about what the sky meant before electricity, before calendars, before weather forecasts. The sky was the only clock that existed, the only calendar, the only navigation system. The sun told you when to plant and when to harvest. The stars told you where you were and which direction to travel. The moon told you how to count the months. For ancient humans, the sky was not a backdrop. It was the operating system that ran their entire world. And the most important things in life, planting, navigation, time, seasons, floods, were all written in the movements of objects they could see above them but never reach. So they built upward. They built as high as they could. As close to the sky as stone and sweat and human determination could get them. And they made those structures sacred. Because the sky was where meaning came from. Where the gods lived. Where the dead went. Where answers to every important question could be found if you watched carefully enough. A pyramid is not just a building. It is a human hand reaching upward. And here is the thing that moves me most about all of this. These cultures did not know about each other. They could not have copied each other. The pyramids of Egypt were already ancient by the time the Mayans built theirs. The Cambodian temples were built on the other side of the world with no knowledge of either. And yet they all reached for the same shape. Because they were all human. They all looked up at the same sky. They all felt the same smallness underneath it. They all wanted to close the distance between where they stood and where the gods lived. The pyramid is not a coincidence. It is not a mystery. It is what happens when a human being looks at the sky and decides, with everything they have, to build toward it. Different languages. Different gods. Different continents. Same shape. Because they were all asking the same question. And they were all reaching upward with the same answer.